Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here with you this afternoon for Illinois Ag Career Corner. My name is Rachel Hawk, and I am a Human Resources Generalist at Farm Credit Illinois. I was a member of the Mercer County FFA chapter, so shout out to Section 4. And I attended the University of Illinois majoring in agricultural economics. And then through a variety of internships and classes and experiences, I found the world of human resources, which is where I landed. After a 1.5 year internship with Farm Credit Illinois, I started full-time as a human resources generalist in the human resources department at Farm Credit and have been there for almost 2 years now. So you're probably wondering, what does a human resources generalist do? And it's pretty much like it sounds. It's very broad. So I have a variety of different responsibilities on a daily basis. One of the areas that I'm involved in at Farm Credit is training and development. So some of my favorite activities are when we bring on a new employee, they start at new employee orientation and learn about our association and a little bit more about the different roles in the association. And I help them through the onboarding process, which extends through most of the first year that they're at Farm Credit. And then I also have opportunities to help with training and development later on for employees in scenarios like Ag 101, which is one of our learning courses at Farm Credit, where employees can voluntarily sign up to learn more about agriculture. Another area that I am involved in is the hiring process. So I help with our full-time hiring process by setting up interviews and assessing candidates. And I also help with the internship hiring process. I get to go to college career fairs in the fall and interview and select summer interns. And then I help them throughout the summer while they're interning with us. I am also involved in somewhat of an employee engagement type area within human resources. So I'm responsible for one of our recognition programs at Farm Credit Illinois. I also interview employees after they start with us and they've been with us for about 3 months to get feedback about how that hiring process went and how their experience as an employee at Farm Credit Illinois is going. And I take that feedback and share it with our HR team and their leaders so that we can hopefully continue to improve their experience with us. So a lot of that area is just about getting feedback from employees and trying to make their experience with us better. And finally, I work in compliance just a little bit as well. I'm involved in our FMLA paperwork, or family and medical leave paperwork. So when an employee is going to be away from work for a period of time due to a medical reason or family-related reason. For example, maybe they're expecting a child or they need a surgery. They do paperwork ahead of time before they leave work, and I help them through that paperwork process. So those are just a few of the areas of human resources that I work in, and it's really exciting for me to be a human resources generalist because it's challenging and fun to be involved in that many different areas of the business. Even though I work in an office, I don't do the same thing every single day. My job is different every day. I get to work with a variety of people, so that keeps it really exciting and keeps me on my toes. So that's a little background about what I do. Now I'm going to check the comments and see if we have any questions. Okay, so Emma asked, what is the hardest part of my position? And what is my favorite part of my position? So I'll answer first, the most challenging part of my position is probably trying to determine how each individual person prefers to be communicated with and trained and taught. So a lot of my job is communicating with employees, as you just heard, getting feedback from employees, relaying that to other employees, as well as a lot of training and teaching. And so, as you know, different people prefer to be communicated with and taught differently. When it comes to learning, some people prefer to read a book, while others prefer to watch a video and Others want to work with their hands. And so in my daily job, I have to learn how each person not only wants to be taught, but wants to be communicated with and try and meet the needs of each individual. And as I mentioned, I work with a lot of different people. So that can be very challenging at times, but it can also be rewarding when we get it right. My favorite part of my position, that's easy, just working with people in general. I went into human resources because I enjoy helping people and I enjoy working with people. And I get to do that on a daily basis. So it's a lot of fun. I guess to go into a little bit more detail, I really love the training and learning side of things. So I mentioned earlier that we created an Ag 101 course last year, and our employees can sign up for that to learn more about agriculture. So it's pretty similar to many of you students who take ag classes in high school. Our employees don't have quite the level of commitment that you have because they're not going to class every single day for an entire school year. But the basic concepts are similar. They're learning more about agriculture and getting to experience that. So just watching our employees learn and grow and develop in those knowledge areas is really exciting for me, and it's very rewarding. Let's see what other questions we have. Do I have a background in agriculture? Keely asked that question. Yes, I do. I grew up on a family farm outside of Aledo, Illinois in Mercer County. We raised corn and soybeans, and I had sheep and llamas as my 4-H projects and supervised agricultural experience projects. And I really enjoyed that. And, being raised that way led me to want to pursue a career in agriculture, along with my experiences in high school ag classes and FFA. Yes, Mindy, my favorite job I've ever had is convention handler, definitely. Human resources is also pretty fun too. Madison asked, what was my favorite part of the Ag 101 program I put together? Gosh, that's hard. I think my favorite part was really just watching the employees grow throughout the entire course. We had a lot of aha moments along the way in different sessions. So how it worked was our employees met once a month, and we had a one-day session that covered a specific topic. So 1 month might have been livestock, while another month was machinery. And so just watching those little aha moments at each session was a lot of fun for me. And we wrapped up the entire course by going to Fair Oaks Farms for a visit. So it was a great way to celebrate everything that the employees learned throughout the year. Mrs. Waters asked, what organizations or clubs helped you gain skills to prepare for your current position? So in high school, I was involved in 4-H and FFA, and both of those really helped me gain skills and knowledge in agriculture and in leadership that I applied not only in high school, but in college and beyond as well. So that was really my foundation, the foundation of learning about agriculture and the foundation of learning about leadership was in FFA. But then I went to college, as I mentioned, at the University of Illinois, and I was involved in Collegiate Farm Bureau, and I continue to be involved in Farm Bureau today. And I was involved in Sigma Alpha Professional Agricultural Sorority. And both of those just continued to build on that foundation of agriculture that I had from high school. And they gave me more experiences and opportunities for professional development in college. So I was able to learn more about, the real world, if you want to call it that, and careers in agriculture. And through those experiences and the classes I took, that's how I found the world of human resources. So it's kind of interesting. I always thought that I wanted to be a veterinarian from the time that I was little. And I took all those steps along the way that you're supposed to take. I had a supervised agricultural experience project with animals and, shadowed my local vet. And up until the end of my first semester of my freshman year of college, I was an animal science major. And because of some different experiences I'd had and classes I was starting to take, I realized that I no longer wanted to pursue vet school. And I wanted to do something that allowed me to work more closely with a variety of people on a daily basis. And I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work with people, but I didn't know what that was called. And eventually I took classes with Dr. Cordy in the agricultural education department that were focused more in leadership and human resources. And that's how I found the term human resources and what led me to kind of that human resources world. So it's crazy because you might go into college thinking that you want to do one thing and majoring in a certain thing, and that might change. And if it does change, that's okay. I remember at the time feeling like, the world was kind of crumbling and I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with my future. And I felt like, oh, no one's going to want to hire me because I don't know what I want to do, or that's not necessarily the case. If you change interests or if you change your major, that's okay. It'll all work out okay, and that does not in any way make you a failure. You should definitely pursue the things that you are interested in and most passionate about. What are some of the things that you do at Farm Credit Illinois to make new employees feel welcome? So that is an area that I love to talk about. When we hire a new employee, before they even start, we send a welcome basket to their home to welcome them to Farm Credit Illinois with a note and some different little items that are made by our farmer members. And when they come on board, we always have a big welcome celebration on the first day. They usually go out to lunch with their team. When they arrive, their cubicle or their office is decorated, and we have a welcome sign for them, and we take them around the building and introduce them to everyone. And shortly after they're hired, we have a new employee orientation session where they get to meet other new employees and learn about the association. So we do a variety of different things after they start, but it's a lot of fun to be able to welcome those people to our Farm Credit family. Family is one of our core values at Farm Credit Illinois, and we truly live that out each and every day. Okay, let's see what other questions we have here. What did I learn from pursuing other internships before working at Farm Credit Illinois? That's a great question. Thank you, Emily. So I did have a couple different internships before interning with Farm Credit Illinois. And really the main takeaway from having multiple internships is the ability to try out different things and determine what you do and don't like. And I had a summer internship the summer prior to Farm Credit Illinois, where I realized I tried out a certain area and I realized that area just wasn't really something that I wanted to work in for the rest of my life. And that was okay. It is just as valuable to try something out and realize that that's not something that you want to do as much as it is to try something and enjoy it. So my advice to students who are in high school and especially in college who are trying to determine what they want to do in the future is to take every opportunity that you can to job shadow and to take internships to get extra experience and try to narrow down what you want to do. It's okay if you don't know yet what you want to do, but take every opportunity that you can to try different things out. I'll put in a little plug for this because I also work with our job shadow program. We do have a job shadow program at Farm Credit Illinois. We're open to having students job shadow with us all year round. So if you're interested in that, feel free to contact me. Zane asked, what skills would I recommend for a job like this? So I would say one of the most important skills that I use on a daily basis is listening. You heard me speak earlier about how I get feedback from employees and take that and try to use that to make their experience here at Farm Credit even better each day. And so when I'm listening actively, I'm able to get more information from that employee than if I was trying to control the conversation or talking over them all the time. So really truly listening to what people are saying is one of the most important parts of my role, whether that's in an interview situation like I talked about with our employees, or whether that's in a training or facilitating scenario, or even just communicating on a daily basis. Listening is definitely important. Another quality I think that that's important in my role is being a lifelong learner. That's something that I really truly believe in. That's something that's important to me. I enjoy learning. And if I am training or teaching other people, I have to continue to learn and improve myself so that I know that what I'm teaching is the most up-to-date version, that it's still relevant and fresh for those people to learn. So I'd say that's definitely important. And also confidentiality. I think anyone in human resources would tell you that it's important to maintain confidentiality in our role. Mrs. Waters asked, as someone who attends college and career fairs looking for recruits, what is your best advice for a student attending one? I have a few pieces of important advice for this one. As I mentioned earlier, I get really excited about going to college career fairs. It's a lot of fun for me to get to meet students and learn about what they're interested in and see if there are ways that we can help them at Farm Credit Illinois to achieve their career goals. So one important piece of advice is to make sure that you review your resume and have others review your resume prior to going to the career fair. Most of the colleges and universities that we work with have a really fantastic career services center or career services department. Usually there's someone who's willing to review a resume for students. So I highly encourage students to have someone in career services or at least a peer review their resume before they print it and go to the career fair. Another piece of advice is just to prepare prior to going to the career fair for the companies that you want to speak with. So doing a little background research is never a bad thing. Most companies have a website with information about that company, about their values, about what they do on that website, and just take a few minutes to scroll through that website and learn a little bit more about the company prior to talking to them at the career fair. Okay. So the final question, I think, unless any others are populated here in the next minute or so, is what is your biggest piece of life or career advice? I think my biggest piece of life or career advice would be to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, even when you're in a setting where you feel like maybe you should know the answer to something. The times that I have asked a lot of questions, and especially the times that I've been brave enough to admit that I didn't know the answer to something or needed help with something, and then ask questions about that, are the times that I have learned the most. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't feel like you're a bother. Most people don't think of you as a bother if you're asking questions. But that's the best way to learn. That's the best way to get more information and to fully understand whatever situation you're in or whatever you're trying to learn about. So definitely ask as many questions as you can, whether you're in a job shadow setting, an internship setting, if you're in a class, wherever you are, just make sure that you're always trying to soak up as much knowledge and information as you can at the time. Hopefully you have enjoyed learning a little bit about human resources, and especially being a human resources generalist today. And if you have any takeaways from today, I hope that your main takeaway is that a career in human resources can be fun. There's, I think, some type of crazy stigma out there that human resources is not fun, or that we're mean or scary, or we just like to fire people or something like that. And that's definitely not the case. I hope that I've shared enough with you today that you realize that human resources is, for the most part, a really fun and positive and uplifting career. It gives us an opportunity to work with people and to help people. And those are really the main reasons that I went into this role. I talked earlier about how it's kind of a twisting path for me to get to this role. I didn't know what I wanted to do right away, and I didn't know what human resources was before internships in this area, but I did know that I enjoyed working with people, and I knew that I liked helping people. And so I eventually found my way to human resources, and I absolutely love it. So if you're someone who enjoys working with people and you enjoy helping people, this could be a really great career for you. It could be a great field to go into, and it's a very positive and fun place to be. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. I don't think I see any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and evening, and thanks for joining us today.